I'm gonna make a game in 1 hour. Not 1 week, not 3 days, not 1 day, just 1 hour, because I'm not gonna code anything. It's all gonna be fancy paper, fancy markers, and my brain. Every 10 minutes, I'm gonna be forced to add in an additional game mechanic that I have not prepared for, I've not planned for at all, that's gonna make this experience a little bit more hellish for me. We'll see if I'm even able to do this in an hour, because I really don't know. I haven't tried. I just had this idea, and here I am in front of a camera. Timers, okay. Timers, 1 hour, starting. Hollow Knight Silksong just came out, so I think I'm gonna do bugs. I think the theme is gonna be bugs of this game, because that's popular. Where'd my marker go? It's all the way over here. Okay. We got bugs. Bugs. What kind of bugs we got? There are a lot of bugs. There's ants.
Cicadas.
There's moths. I think we're doing moths. I think I like moths, because moths have a goal. Moths have light. Usually I don't start with theme first. Usually I start with mechanics first. This is a little bit weird. What about a game where you're a moth and everyone's moths and you're all trying to get to the light, but a lot of the lights, just like in real life, are fake. But there's one light that's real, and that's the light you want to find. So you're moving around a board. It's not gonna be 3 by 3, but hold on. You're moving around a board and there are like lights, and you have like your little guys, and you go over to them and you like flip them up, and it's like, is it the real one or is it a bug zapper? And if it's a bug zapper, you die, and if it's a real one, then you win. So that's not interesting enough on its own, so I need some sort of obstacle, some sort of extra mechanic. So let's say we've got pawns. We got mighty pawns that represent your moths, and each player controls multiple moths, because that allows me to allow you to have your moths die or maybe be sent back, just like the famous game Lego Minotaurus. Bugs, moths, lights. You flip them over. Let's make a piece for that. That'll be the start. We'll say that there's bad ones, and then there's the good one. And we flip them over. We shuffle them, and you're like, which one's which? That's interesting. It's not that interesting yet. Okay. Now we draw out a board that's not this. Grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm crazy. Okay, great. That's real, by the way. They can be 2 from the edges, like this. We don't need a 4th one. Oh, what if the 5th one is like not in play, and you don't even know if the real one is in play at all, and you could just not win. So we've got 4 lights, and I've already encountered the issue of, let's just solve one issue at a time. I've already encountered the issue of, if each player starts in a corner like you kind of do in these games, you're gonna just be near one of the lights to start with. So what if you place your pieces around the edge of the board one at a time, and then you like snake order it? We've solved the problem. You start the game, we go around the table, everyone places a thing along the edge of the board anywhere they want, and we take turns until everyone has placed their pieces around all, I'm obviously not doing this strategically, but you get the idea. So the board setup will look like this. You can move 1 space a turn. If you move onto a light, you reveal it. If it's a bad light, your guy dies and the light gets flipped, but then everyone knows it's bad. Is that fine? That's probably fine, right? And then we're gonna stick with that. You move onto the light. If it's a bug zapper, it flips up and it's evil and your guy dies. Your pawn is removed. And if it's the good one, you score a point, and then all the things get flipped down and shuffled. Now we have a game.
Wasn't the whole point of like the moth with a bug zapper is that they're drawn to it no matter what? So even if you, the player, know that it's a bad thing, shouldn't there still be a reason or like a thing that makes you have to go to it?
So you're thinking
There should be either an incentive to go for it or something that forces the player to go for it.
You're stun locking me. You're
Maybe one of these mystery mechanics will help you out a little bit. What about hex grid?
Hex grid. Okay. Drawing a hex grid is actually the hardest part. Like more than implementing a hex grid. Hex grid. I'm having a bunch of ideas right now, and all of them are being thwarted by hex grid. Like I was like, everyone gets a row. Say that. I mean, that's maybe about half of that. Doesn't matter. So I flip them upside down. The game starts. You're all up at the top. I jumble them all around. We deal these out randomly. Then they both know they're both out. You can peek at one and then swap theirs. How would that work? What if there was some like weird thing where like peeks at this, knows it's good, but now their second action green will be like, okay, well obviously how many bad ones bad? Man, this is really hard.
Now is an amazing time for a new...
Oh, and a new mechanic. A new mechanic. Auction. Auction. I'm not swearing. Auction. I think this needs to be scrapped. Auction. 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 Hex grid. Moths. Lights. Now I'm thinking of like an interesting like auction game. Like what if the whole game was built around auctioning where like I get given some things. I'm ditching moths, by the way. It's gone. I get given some things and it's like, okay, one of these is bad, one of these is good. I turned one of them around and not the other, but that's because this one's the same on both sides. I get given some things and I need to auction them off to people. And
Remember the hex grid.
I know, I'm gonna work in the hex grid later. And that will not come back to bite me. Okay, auction. Say I get given, I got like 6 of these. And I secretly look at them, no one else gets to look. And I'm like, okay, I got 3 bad ones and 3 good ones. I'll offer up 4 good ones, but they're hidden. So no one knows that like I'm slipping in a bad one in there. And then everyone is then like, okay, well, I got $5 mega dollars. I'll bid $5 mega dollars. But what's to stop you from just like just being like, I'm gonna bid evil. But then people wouldn't want to, in future rounds, they wouldn't want to buy from you for any price because they'd be worried they'd be bad. And maybe they're not like bad so much as they're like nothing. So you're not like taking an actual negative, you're just not getting anything. You're bidding a lot and you're not getting very much. Moths, grid. This is no good.
We're ditching moths.
I know, but I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting anywhere. We're like, okay, do I have like a hexagon that I can just like trace? I don't think so. I'm gonna make one. Yeah, I'm crafty. This is the worst hexagon ever. Let me try again.
Oh my god.
Wait, no, maybe I can salvage this one. Maybe that's better than trying again. That might have been a bad cut. Okay, wait. Well, that's good. Well, hold on. 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 That's good. Maybe it is like a small grid. And like this is where you place your auctioning points. And they're moths. You're auctioning with moths. Because you're frogs. Everyone loves frog games. You're frogs and you're auctioning with moths. I really thought this would be easy. I really did. Let's cut it down to 2 players. Let's simplify things. We're just gonna add some mechanics in and we'll figure out what they mean later. We've got money. We got money and we got a hex grid. That's all you need for auctioning. The money is moths. This is the pond. There's a frog on either end. Those are frogs. You put your money where your frog is. That's an expression.
Are you already going crazy? We're only half an hour into this. And you're
I only have a half hour left? We've got a hex grid and we've got no auctioning, but we have money. Hex grid auctioning. I don't even think I could do that with like 10 hours. What do I need? Hex grid auctioning. Hex grid auctioning. What's even just an auctioning game? I like the idea that there's like value, that you're betting on things that have varying value, because that is what is the minimum requirement for an auction. But like, what if like the spaces are each worth I got an idea. Caleb's got an idea. So how do I do this? Hex grid. That's really throwing me off here. Hex grid. Let's get these, because these are a little bit like the thicker pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they get flipped upside down and shuffled around. Every turn, at the start of every turn, I can look at one, and then the opponent can look at a different one. So this was 5, and this was 4. And then we both bid on the spaces, on any space we want. But then there's no reason to bid on anything but what we looked at, because we don't have any other information. I guess I know that that's not a 5. But I guess it would be like, if I don't care too much about the 5, I'll place 1 on it. Or I'll place none on it. We might be getting somewhere. Okay, hold on. So, on my turn, I look at this, the opponent looks at this. 5, 4. I go, you know what? A 5 is a decent amount of points. I'm gonna put 2 of my total across the whole game. I have 6 moths, because they're moths still. I put 6 moths. I put 2 moths of my 6 on this lily pad. And then the opponent can say, all right, I saw mine was a 4. The opponent bid 2 on that. Do I want to try to bid 2 on it to neutralize it? Or bid 3 to potentially take it? Or maybe they just bid 2 so that I would bid 3 and I've wasted 3 and they bid only 2. And the next turn starts. So let's say the opponent says, I'm not going to do anything. The next turn, I look at this one, that's a 7. The opponent looks at this one, that's a 6. I have less than they do. Maybe they have to bid first this time, because we would alternate, because that makes more sense. I'm liking this. And then at the end of the game, once everyone has spent all their tokens, we reveal, and whoever owns what, we add up those point values, and the person who has more points wins. And ties mean that nobody gets the points. Give me that last mechanic, baby. Oh, I'm scared. I'm sweating. Jail. Jail. From Monopoly.
That's what I was laughing about
earlier,
by the way.
It's easy. It's literally easy. It's literally the easiest mechanic I've ever added. There's a jail space. If you win the jail space, it's like -5 points. Because you go to jail. No, you lose the game. Whatever. You lose the whole game. So hypothetically then, if I peek and I see this is the jail space, I could bid 1 on this and then goad my opponent into bidding higher on it. Maybe they'd bid 2. Maybe they'd tie for it. We need a little bit more depth here, I think. We need just a little bit more depth in the overall. But I think the idea of having a jail token, like a instant like lose, like whatever it's called in code names, like the evil agent.
Betrayer, the double agent.
No, it's not the double agent.
Something like that.
You need like another action on your turn. But let's think. Why did I replace this one? What was this? That was 4? Why did I replace 4? I meant to replace 1. Okay, one thing that should have been said earlier is that once someone has bid on a space, you can't peek at it anymore. It's locked in.
So you have to remember what space is what?
Yes, you have to remember what it is, but it also means if I bid on jail with 2, you can't just be like, oh, what's that? Let me look at it really quick and then decide if I'm gonna bid. If you're gonna bid on something your opponent bids on, it has to be entirely based on what they bid on it, using your judgment.
How do you earn money?
I was thinking the game would end when you run out of money.
Okay.
So both players have a set amount of money, and then that's like your resource. So if you spend money early on, you might actually lose flexibility later on, and your opponent will be able to like buy you out on something. This game is hard because I can't play test it alone.
Why don't we play test it right now?
Sure, let's do it. All right, after a brief playtest with my lovely camera woman, we have resolved that this game works, and all my fretting was for nothing. I am a master of game design. So yeah, the game honestly kind of works. It's not like an amazing game. It's a little bit simpler than I wanted. By the end of this, I really wanted to have like a messy, large game with like a bunch of broken mechanics, but I ended up going through so many ideas that I now have a dense game with a hex grid auctioning in jail where you auction moths on lily pads?
I think you're auctioning 4 moths. And the number that they are is like how hungry they make you. And the jail, how much they...
The jail, so it's...
The jail is like a poison moth.
14 minutes left.
That's called a professional right there.
2 players, both players are frogs, and you're auctioning for space on lily pads that have various values that you can peek at and then bet on, or bid on. The lily pads have a value of 0 to 7. There is 1 jail space, which I guess is like a bad lily pad, like a lily pad that sinks. At the start of the game, you shuffle all the pieces together, then you place them secretly, each on a lily pad. They're all face down. I have them face up for demonstration purposes only. Then each turn, on your turn, 1 player peeks at one of them, and another player peeks at a different one, and then they both take any amount of tokens they have and place it on any 1 lily pad to bet on that, to bid on that lily pad. Then the other player who peaks second gets to bid on any lily pad that they want to bid on. Then the player who bids second bids first, and you keep alternating back and forth until everyone has spent all their money. You check who owns each lily pad, whoever has the most bid on each one, and you reveal to count up how many points each person has earned. Thank you for watching this video. If people like this video, if people enjoy this video, I might do a second one. Honestly, I had a lot of fun making it. And if you want to put in the comments game mechanic ideas, I will not read them. Someone else will read them.
I'll read them.
Someone else, will read them. And then compile the best ones, shuffle them up, and then give them to me next time I do this to be incorporated into the game. So, thank you. I'm still making CardWars.